We're going to introduce you to Mo, who at 21 is London's youngest black cabbie. He explains the story behind it all.
Hi everyone, it's Mo from Sherbet, London, and in 3 weeks' time, I'm going to be London's youngest black cab driver. And thanks to Sherbet, they've taught me everything there is to know about the trade, and I'm forever grateful for it. So before I started the knowledge, I didn't get to sit my GCSEs, so I went into lockdown. So I thought, you know what, let me do the knowledge. My dad's a black cab driver, my brother's a black cab driver, and I finished it off. I'm the last to be the black cab driver and the family.
So yeah, we are both kind of London-ish based, so we've got an idea of London black cabs. But I don't know if you realised the amount of effort and the brains you must have to be able to be a black cab driver. So there's a thing called the knowledge, which has been around for about, I think it's about 130 years.
Well, I wouldn't know that exactly, but yeah, I think most of us who've lived in and around London, then everyone's heard of the knowledge. Not that anyone could do it.
For those who don't, you have to memorise the locations of thousands of streets and kind of landmarks, big, well-known places along the way, within kind of 6 mile radius of Charing Cross, which is kind of like central of London. So they all test you on things. I'll just go through a little bit of it. So you get multiple choice tests at the start. So you need to say, okay, how do you get from Charing Cross to Buckingham Palace? Okay, sounds straightforward. But in your head, read out the directions, like a visual sat nav, and the roads you take and the ways you go, what you pass along the way. And you've got to get a 60% pass mark to get that past the first stage. And then you have what are called appearances, where you have to do 4 questions, which take you've got to say the shortest route between any 2 points in London. So within thousands of different streets, they will give you've got to then make sure, I think it's like you're going to get a majority of them right, to get that location from one to another, which just would blow my mind. I've watched videos online seeing people do this, and it is just incredible. I think, getting from one tube stop to another, I thought was kind of an achievement. But
I know, I couldn't even tell you all the stops on kind of like on the Victoria line or something like that. And I do it all the time. And so, yeah, I would fail. But Mo,
and then apparently,
no.
Indeed, and the last thing you got to learn, for some reason, you got to know the suburbs, London's suburbs as well. So outside that radius, an additional 25 routes. Once you pass that, easy, you can get your badge. It's just incredible. And what's amazing is that Mo did it in 2 years. So it normally takes about 3 to 4, 5 years.
Which in itself is astonishing, isn't it? To think that people that's a long time of study. I mean, it's like doing medicine or something like that.
Basically, so Mo's story and success was highlighted on Twitter. There's Transport for London. They've got an account about taxi and private hire. They posted this photo, and they said, "Congratulations to Mohammed B, our youngest taxi driver, who passed the knowledge of London in 2 years at age 20. And apparently, I didn't realise this, you can't actually be a taxi driver until you're 21, of an official black cab driver. So you can vote, you can go to war, you can drink, but you can't be a taxi driver till 21. So this got 1.6 million views. And, being social media, there was a mixture of reaction. Lots of people praising him. Someone said actually you met him a while back, and he said, you finally picked up your badge, mate. The wait's finally over. Congratulations. See you out on the road. Which is great. Love to see. Unfortunately, there was a target of offensive and racist abuse. We've seen a lot of that with Twitter, other social sites as well, but increasingly so. And the idea of guy at 20 years old or 21 being a cab driver, the colour of his skin, and just like kind of really pretty depressing. And you look at that video we showed earlier, you know, what a lovely guy he seems. You know, he's got shy, but, you know, just wants a career that's following his dad's footsteps.
And also, I mean, a lot of people kind of saying, welcome to the job, mate, you know, look forward to seeing you out on the road. But there was also a couple of comments from people who are clearly kind of like a bit sinister or just a bit jealous or something like that about the fact that he'd done it in such a short space of time. There's one message on X, and it says, all I can say is someone must have shone a light on him, because it took me 4.5 years, 7 days and nights a week till 10 p.m. at night. I left school, went home. So someone who could do it in 2 years without taking anything away from the young man, I think standards, you know, suggesting that standards have slipped somewhat, which is a real shame, because to all intents and purposes, as far as we know, and, you know, we've just heard from Mo himself, he seems like a really hardworking young man. It's a great achievement. And why shouldn't we all just be proud and wish him well, rather than suggesting there's anything underhand that's happened? You know, it's a shame, I think.
I mean, BBC London posted on Facebook about this story, and one of the comments was about, you know, why bother with the test and the knowledge anymore, because life's moved on. We've got sat navs. Well, if you've used sat navs to get around places you don't know, particularly if you follow their shortcuts.
I know. I did shortcuts in London recently, actually, and it took me the weirdest route as well. Like, you know, obviously you don't really need a 4x4 in London. I don't have a 4x4, thankfully, but it was such a kind of like bumpy, cobbled, random route that wasn't really even a road that I went down. I was like, you'd need a kind of tractor to be able to do this safely. So yeah, so as much as I am completely and utterly reliant on Google Maps, and I wish I had Mo in my pocket, I'm still going to get stuck. Maybe that means I just stick to the rest of TfL's offerings instead and just get on public transport, or just get in Mo.
Indeed. Sherbet, who is the cab firm, basically he rents the cab from, who made that film with Mo at the start. They said about Mo, at Sherbet, we could not be prouder. Mo represents everything we stand for: ambition, professionalism and community spirit. His story is inspiring a new wave of young Londoners to see black cab driving not just a job, but a career filled with opportunity, independence and pride. And they really are like really proud of him. There's lots of kind of videos on their site and pictures of them celebrating his achievements. And yeah, good for him. It's just, you know, hopefully he's just not seen a lot of that nonsense online. It's just a great achievement and something you should really celebrate it. I would love for him to drive me around London rather than me trying to get my way around relying on sat-nav or Google Maps, as you said.
We should keep an eye on him as well, because you never know. There could be some kind of like savvy content creators out there who are going to try and track down Mo and get in his cab, and then we'll have some footage or some content that's actually from his cab going some obscure route across London as well. So watch this space. He might still go viral again. You never know.